Okay, so also I listened to David Rodriguez this morning too. Um, I like to uh, he's on YouTube all the time, and he has a lot of connections, so he does updates over what he hears going on, or what is going on behind the scenes or whatever. And but sometimes he's like kind of a Debbie Downer, Um, so I mean, he's talking about this is just going on and on and on. I I don't think it's just going to go on and on and on, because we have other things, cosmic events that are going to be going on. This can't just go on like this for 4 years. I mean, and plus there's so many people waking up. And that's what's so crazy is, when I had already woke up, I thought I was it was even called woke when I first started happening. It started being like, you're woke if you're noticing this, you're woke if you notice that. So when I very first started becoming aware of things, it was called woke. And it was just becoming so, like what I talked about yesterday with the human rights and stuff, and like the stuff like, you know, people don't kill people because it says in the Bible. It's like, what the hell? And the stuff when I started looking at the sky and I started seeing, you just waking up. At first, for me, it was just starting to question my surroundings, and it's kind of like you're waking up like, wait, what? Wait a minute, where am I? What's going on? And you just start seeing like, but why? And it's those questions that propel you into wanting to understand more. And so it all has to do with this spiritual enhancement of yourself. But oh my God, these dogs are driving me so crazy today. I can't even tell you. I'm going to lose my mind. Yeah, the energy right now is so intense. That was another thing too. When I very first started waking up, there was lots of people on YouTube that were just talking about the energy. The energy, this is happening, that's happening. It's causing these symptoms and that symptoms. So it's very different what was going on YouTube a couple of years ago. Now, so many people are speaking out about what's going on and trying to help people wake up. Like, you guys, look around. Like, think differently than you are. Just, open your mind a little. Don't stay in your little tunnel vision. Don't stay in the narrow-minded. Oh my gosh, these dogs, I swear to God, this has been going all day. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Okay, you guys are really going to drive me crazy today. Go, hurry up. Stella, go. Hurry up, Trixie. Go, shut in the door. Oh my gosh. Favorite thing to do, too. It's like 90-something degrees. Hey, we're just going to have you open the door, and we're just going to stand in the door and just stand here and look around like, what do we want to do now? It's like, okay, this is not the place to stand. Oh my gosh, they do that all the time. That's one of my pet peeves. Going out, blocking the door, especially when I'm trying to go too. And they'll just block the door, and Stella takes up the whole damn door. I can't get around her. I have to shove her out of the way. Anyways, that's just dog stuff, I guess. And it's so weird when you think about all their reality is what they see. That's it. They don't, I mean, I don't know, hasn't been proven yet, but who knows. But that they don't think about what's going to happen tomorrow. They don't think about what's going to happen in 5 minutes. They don't think about what they did yesterday. They only think about what they see right here, right now. Which is probably a better way for anyone to start trying to live, Don't get caught up in the past. You can't change it. You can only learn from it. And hindsight is a great learning tool. So, look back, But don't get hung up. Don't sit there and feel like, oh my God, oh, I did this and now I'm the worst person in the whole world. I can't even change it. I can't even believe I did that. Well, a couple things is we don't have to react as fast as what we think. You don't have to say something just because someone says something. You can, hold that information for a while. Play it out in your head before you know what you want to say. You don't have to jump in and say shit, because so many times you end up regretting what you said. So, that is one way to kind of combat that. But if you are just caught up in your, past part, I talk about this a lot because I wasn't even a big asshole. But when I was going through the dark night, what they call the dark night, and it's just facing the dark side of yourself, because we all want to look at ourselves as how we see ourselves, like label ourselves. Oh, I'm a good listener. What'd I hear? It was actually David Rodriguez yesterday. He said something like, well, I'm a good blah, blah, blah. I can't remember what it was. But if you start noticing, you'll notice people, they'll gravitate to what they want to be. Like, I'm a good this, I'm a good that, I'm a good this. Well, you can't be good at something for everybody, because we're all different. So you're going to be the good guy for some people, and you're going to be the bad guy for some people. It's just the way it is. So for me, when I got caught up in the dark night, it was super, super depressing. I had to look at things that I did, as a mom, and there was nothing I could do to change it. And, I've got grown daughters who have problems with things that I did or hold resentment for things I did back then. And it was pre-brain injury. So I wasn't even the same person. I'm completely not even the same person I was back then. I was very different. I think. I can't even relate to that person, really. It is so true when they say that about spiritual death. You are reborn as a completely different person. Because it was after my brain injury, I wasn't just snap reborn into a new person. Yeah, I was different, but I had a lot. It's like when you have an injury, no matter what it is, you have to relearn things. You aren't just automatically something different. I mean, yeah, you could automatically be like, oh, I was a able-bodied person and now I'm a wheelchair person. Yeah, that is instantaneously. Yeah, I had a brain and a job that worked, and I had to use my brain for my job. But then when it got broke, yeah, then I couldn't. But it even took a while to lose my license, because when I was going to the doctors and saying something was wrong, nobody could admit it. Nobody could say anything because it was malpractice. They have to cover each other's ass. That's how our medical community works. It's not for us. It's not for our better. They just left me there suffering. I mean, I could have died. I could have died in the hospital. And none of my family would have even known why. They just, it was just an accident, just a tragedy. I don't know. They're not going to go and tell them what happened. When people die in the hospital, people need to look into it more. And even in that show, Evil, it even shows, yeah, they just, they're taking people. They had these alien creatures, or whatever you want to call them, demons, taking people out of the hospital. And for whatever they were going to do with them. But that is kind of like a metaphor. I think it's called a metaphor. But you know what I mean. It's not literally how they do it. They do it different, but they do it. And they are killing us in the hospital for sure. But, when I went through that part, when I had to face myself, the dark side of myself, and it wasn't like I was sitting there thinking about it, just this stuff was coming to me. And that is where you get the idea that it's the universe is working in tandem with you for your growth. And so when you're getting these things that are coming into your head that you have to face, and they're horrible, it will be stuff like, for me, a lot of mine was like, oh my God, why was I such a weak person that I would stay with people who treated me so badly? What in me would do that? What in me would make me, because then you can become very selfish and self-centered in your life because you are struggling to survive. And, so it affects more than just you trying to struggle to survive. And you affect other people. And then when you have to start seeing that, the good thing too about it is, like I've talked about before, when you die and you have to see it and you have to go through your what's that called? It's not called past life journey. Your when you have your life review, and you have to look over it and you have to see how you affected other people, because that is where you learn. So that is what the dark night is about. It is like you have this opportunity to see it while you're still alive, so that you can redeem yourself, or you can make changes, or apologize, or whatever it may be. I mean, it's going to be different for all of us. But yeah, for mine, seeing that part, that was part of like my spiritual growth. And then, I started getting a lot more tuned back into listening to my guides and communicating. And they started like telling me all sorts of stuff about healing and growth. And like I would be questioning things and they would be talking. And also today, I heard somebody else, when I talk about like figure out ways to communicate with your higher self, and that there's different ways. Somebody was talking about one way, and I've heard this by a lot of people, so you may want to try this if you're having problems, is a book. And you open the book and you close your eyes and you just put your finger, and you can get your questions answered or whatever. You can get communication that way too. You just have to figure out a way that you can trust and know that they're talking to you. And to me, like even with a song or something, because you feel it. It feels way different. Like you can be listening to a whole bunch of songs and all of a sudden this one song will just hit you, and you just all of a sudden are tuned into it and you're listening and certain things are being said. And a lot of times you can start crying, you can have emotions, you can just feel it. You'll know it's communication. But then you have to trust, like that you're not crazy, that it is really communication. And that is a big thing. I think that is very difficult for people to not feel crazy, because we've been taught that there is nothing else out there, So when you're listening to things that aren't there, you feel like a crazy person. But all of those different things were part of my awakening. And then I still had no idea, even when Trump got put in at first, and I saw all these people, like religious people, saying, that I don't even know. I was hearing like he's the second coming. He's like all sorts of weird shit. And I just kept saying, because I had already started reading. I was the only person I knew who started reading and listening to the other people, the people that wanted him to be voted in. So I was listening to what they were saying. I was going in and reading their conversations and trying to understand. And I had just told my kids, I said, well, I mean, if that's who we have to have in, I mean, no matter what, the system has to blow up. So, if he's going to go in, then that's what we need to make this change, because something's, we're going into a huge change. And, but I still didn't know what his role was. It wasn't until 2020 when I really understood what his role was. And then it gave such clarity. Oh my God, 2020 was the best year ever. And him just putting himself out there and taking this abuse just to get us to see what they're doing to people. Like if they're about to arrest him, if that doesn't even get people to wake up, like you can't do shit here if you are going against the controllers. And that's what he has done. Him and his, he's only the figurehead. And, but, it's a huge group behind him that are doing this, trying to take these people down out of the world takeover, the takeover of human beings. And, well, it's kind of like the freeing of human beings, because we already were taken over. We didn't even know we were taken over. But that's the beautiful thing now, is that we get to see. But then after you see, then it starts becoming frustrating because you can't do anything about it. And that's exactly what my daughter was talking about, like why she has to disconnect from all of this stuff is because she can't do anything about it. And she can't sleep at night. It's too frustrating. And, so I don't know. Some of these people, I know for sure they're doing that. I know that they were paying a lot more attention to the news and stuff when Trump was in because they were going to, they had to make sure he wasn't going to destroy the world. But they wouldn't go in and listen to what he was talking about. They only listened what the news said he was talking about. That was the problem. And, but those of us who went in and listened, then we got a clear picture. It was 2020 vision. It was clearing things up. And once I saw that is what everything just all of a sudden just fell into place. And then you start seeing like, oh my God, this awakening it has so much to do with seeing the controllers, seeing what's going on in this planet and being able to break free from the system. And we're in this huge war right now while it's all happening. And so many people don't even know what's going on. It's so weird. But yeah, we are, and it is moving forward. And I still have hope for July. I believe a lot about psychics and mediums and all that stuff because I believe in the communication with the people we don't see because they've been communicating to me for my whole life. So I do trust that communication and I do know it's real because, I've told you before, like they'll tell me where things are. They'll tell me how to fix things that I don't know how to fix. They'll tell me how to build things that I don't know how to build. That's what they do if you listen to them. So, and this was another thing yesterday. I was so disappointed. I caught up on Evil. I guess it's only on season 2, episode 2. So bummed out. And I saw now like the trailers or whatever. It seems kind of like they kind of are doing it like they did that. I think it was like it was one of those shows that had all those fairy tale characters. They kind of do it kind of like that. But they have a lot of disclosure in that show. A lot of stuff that they show what life really is, but they show it as a show and they show it different, like having demons sitting there and shit. But one of the things, so after that, this other thing started automatically. I didn't know it was going to go into the show again. I thought it was still on the show. So when it started automatically, it was on this guy, and I had seen him a couple of years ago. And I don't know if he's real. That's the thing with our television entertainment, that they manipulate us so much that you don't know what's real and what's not real. But this guy supposedly is a psychic. I think his name's Tim or Tom or something like that. And he goes around, he'll drive like a Uber or something and pick people up. And then he'll give them a reading if they want one. And sometimes he'll just go up to strangers and start talking to them, like if he feels led. And some of the stuff, it is like very moving. Like if these people are all acting, if he's faking it and these people are all acting, then man, they should be in Hollywood because these seem very legit emotions. And it's so healing when people get messages from the other side, from their dead relatives, and they realize that they're there being their guides. When I talked to that one medium and I said that all that weird stuff was going on in my life and my dad had just died, and I thought, oh, my dad, he's always been wanting to control all my life. So I went in, and I talked to my friend who's a medium, and I asked her if she'd come do a reading for me. And that's how I found out, because my dad was what you would consider a bad guy, alcoholic, chimo, guy. And, but he was in a place that was like, to me, all I could think of was like purgatory. She said he's in like this dark space. She said he's just like really alone. He's very angry. He's in like it's just this dark space that made you feel like it was like a room or something. But we don't have rooms in those other places, like in our idea of a 3-dimensional room. But you still have parameters. Like he can't just go out amongst the rest of the people. He has to heal. You can't be at a certain level. Like if you are, say, a bad person, like what you would consider my dad to be, and you die and you haven't healed, you haven't had redemption and stuff, then you have to be isolated. You can't just go into general population dead world and disrupt everybody with your whiny ass shit. You have to heal. You have to look at yourself. You have to understand yourself. You have to accept yourself. You have to understand about what went on and what you went there to learn and stuff. And I guess my dad and this friend didn't know anything about my dad. And she started telling me things, but she said that he was very upset that he was not able, that people weren't forgiving him. Like people just should have forgave him so he could move on in death. And that really bothered him. But she was really creeped out by him. Like his energy was just very intense and angry. And so, and she asked him about, if he had been involved, and he said, no, he hadn't been involved. He wanted me to go check on my stepmom, though, that he felt like she was sick and stuff like that. And so then she talked to my grandparents, but this is the thing I was talking about with this guy, was when she talked to my grandpa, who died when I was young. And I remember that was the first death I dealt with, and I was just traumatized. I just was bawling my head off. And I always had these feelings. I always liked that guy. And he was like this kind of like stoic kind of grandpa. He was like really big. I was from the Ukraine, but I don't remember him having an accent or anything, but I don't remember him talking a lot. And I don't know that I would even understand an accent when I was really little. And, but he would be the kind of grandpa, like you do something odd and he'd just look at you, I'm so disappointed. And it would be like, oh my God, I've disappointed him. You know what I mean? So he didn't have to do much to kind of give you, like, lead you in the right direction or something. But anyways, when she talked to him, he was saying all sorts of stuff. Like, he's right involved in my life. He is one of my guides. He is one of my guardians. He is right there with me all the time. And I started bawling when she told me. But that's what was happening yesterday in that show. There were so many people that they've got a grandparent who's right there. They've even got grandparents, great grandparents they hadn't met who are there, who are their guides, who are there for them. And that's what I talk about when people die. Like, when you die, you're not going to just all of a sudden just cease to disappear. You're going to stay back, hang out with your rest of your people who are here, and try and help them from the other side, because the other side is real. It's a real existence. It is our real life. This is not our real life. And but the thing that was disappointing was that I was kind of like really surprised by was how many people got in his cab, and he would ask, like, so do you believe in psychics and mediums and stuff like that? And they'd say no, and they would get out of his car. Like, he'd say, so you don't want to hear what I have to say or anything? And they'd be like, no, let me out here, please. And it's like, oh my gosh, that's so nutty. And then also when he would, because I guess he's going to a bunch of different states, but in California, when the crew or whatever is going around interviewing people and stuff, that the people that they would talk to all think like crystals are kooky, new age stuff is kooky, reincarnation, everything. It's like, oh my gosh, what do you believe in? Like, you just believe there's two guys up here in the sky fighting for you? For your eternal soul. They're just going to put all this in because they can just, this couple of years you get here, they just want to rip you out of there so you can wash their feet or burn in hell. So, just, it's weird. It's weird how people are so separated from anything that they don't understand or don't believe, or, well, they don't believe in what they don't understand, but anything that they don't understand, it's like they don't even want to look into it. They don't want to try and understand it. But yeah, crystals really do have healing power. The New Age movement is it's about self-empowerment. It's not about having an idol. It's about the recognition that there is no idols. Your purpose, your It's on you. You have to be your own source of guidance and stuff. You know what I mean? And yeah, I don't know. They're still stuck in this mindset. They want a savior, I guess. And then I've seen like some religious people speaking out, like, yeah, I've talked about it before. They try and make like the New Age movement is like, I don't know, we're devil worshippers or something. I don't know. I just think that everybody just wants to keep control of you, keep control of your mind. And I say break free, listen to your inner guidance, connect with your mind, body, soul, focus on you and what your needs are, and stuff will start making sense. I just think things don't make sense because there's just so many lies, and people are trying to make the lies make sense. They're not going to make sense. You have to look into stuff more. I'm a broken record. Okay, I'll turn myself off for today. Okay, have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.